If you feel like you are not making as much money as you want, start giving things away and showing up. I gave away education. I gave away time. And I spoke that year in 2020, I was a guest on 100 different podcasts. That giving gave me a foundation that I would never have had before if I was so focused on, but how am I going to make money with this? Exactly. How is this going to bring me dollars today? Because then fast forward, because I gave so much, when people had money, I was the first person that they came to.
All right, everyone. Joining me today is Aleya Harris. She is the founder and business owner of Flourish Marketing, an agency dedicated to helping empire-building creative entrepreneurs reach their full potential. She believes that all business owners should make good money doing what they love and supports her clients with highly converting marketing strategies. If you are a business owner and you haven't found your marketing niche, this is the person you need to work with. She also is really kind in letting me reschedule multiple times due to COVID, conferences, and childcare, and a bad back, threw my back out. And she's going to tell us towards the end how she was beaten by a shaman in the Amazon. But before we go there, welcome, Aleya.
Thank you so much for having me, Carrie. I appreciate that.
She's also a Bay Area girl, just so you guys know.
Yes.
We both realize we're from the East Bay. So that's exciting.
Yes.
And
both now in LA. So
I know we're was clearly meant to be best friends. So
obviously.
Start stalking each other on Instagram. Her topic today is break out of the sea of sameness, which is a fabulous title. But before we go into that, if I asked 10-year-old Aleya on her way to school in Oakland what she wanted to be when she grew up, what would she have said? Would she have said marketing?
No.
Marketing for creatives.
I want to do marketing for creatives and professionals. No, I wanted to be, I have this memory where someone did ask me that. It wasn't on the way to school, but it was, I think at some party or something. It was an adult and I was standing next to my mom. And I said, with all the pride I had in my heart, I want to be a secretary. And my mom looked at me like, where did that come from? It was that I guess her department secretary was like the nicest person I had ever met. And I wanted to be just like her. And then a week later, I wanted to be a music teacher because I had a new music teacher who I loved. So if you want to know if you're making an impact on little kids by being a good person, you are. Just know that that impact might only last for about a week.
Well, there was a time when I wanted to be an FBI agent because I saw this movie and there were two female lead FBI agents. I was like, I could be an FBI agent. And then after a week, I was like, oh, you have to go to boot camp. Really work out a lot. I don't want to do that. No.
I know. It's like, as soon as you found something that you're like, oh, there's work
involved in that, and I know there's that phrase, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Well, I love what I do. And I'll tell you what, I work hard. And I'm sure you can say the same.
Exactly. I don't
Now, then tell me the journey then into Flourish, creating Flourish Marketing. If, 10-year-old, where did she go after the dreams
where did
of being
she
a secretary were diminished?
I know. I actually have never been a secretary, administrative assistant. I've never had that job. So I never got to live
unrealized. Aleya.
It's an unrequited dream. But I went into marketing. I went to USC, fight on. And then I couldn't get a job because it was during the recession when I graduated. So I ended up working at an apparel company, True Religion Brand Jeans, in their corporate office in HR. I lasted for 6 months in HR before I went over to communications. And then I'm in apparel, then I'm in cosmetics, and I'm like, gosh, this is not it. Yeah. I'm hawking $400 jeans that make your butt look flat. And I just don't understand what I'm doing with my life. Then I got laid off, which was a blessing. And it didn't feel like that at the time. I was like, oh my God, I'm broke. I'm poor.
Right.
But thank God for unemployment, because I was able to ride out that wave. And my friend was over at my house and I was cooking and she was eating my food. She goes, you should just go to culinary school. And I'm going to say that she had that suggestion because the food was good and could have been better, not because it was like horrible. We're going to go with that version of the story.
Okay.
So I did. I went to culinary school. I literally couldn't get a job doing anything. I applied to like 20 million jobs a day. I couldn't get a job doing anything. And it was the best thing that I ever did. And then in culinary school, I didn't quite know. I just was like, I'm going to work within a restaurant or have a catering company or something like that. But it wasn't a firm plan until a grumpy chef instructor gave me some of the best advice ever, which was, well, you're going to like have to work for $10 an hour for 10 years before you ever are able to like do anything with yourself. And I'm like, that's not how I'm set up. I mean, no, I mean, that I'm doing math on my fingers and my toes. And I'm like, do you know how many facials that is not for $10 an hour?
Exactly.
I don't know about that. So I ended up starting my catering company and private chef company while I was in school. And when I graduated, I got an agent, as one does in LA. Yes. Everyone had their agents for almost anything you could find. Yeah, all things. So I got a private chef agent, and I ended up working as Stevie Wonder's private chef and traveling all over the world with him and working as Bruce Willis's private chef. And I'm laughing, more than $10 an hour.
Real quick, Stevie Wonder's favorite meal?
The meal that got me the job.
Ooh, better question.
And I didn't know who I was cooking for. I went into this house that like the agent sent me to, and I could tell that no one really lived there. Like the furniture was like staged furniture. Right. Yeah. And I was like, this is way too clean, neat, and tidy. Someone's actual home. And I'm cooking, no idea who I'm cooking for. And I made braised chicken thighs, and I believe it was mashed potatoes, which my mashed potatoes are the best. I steam my potatoes instead of boiling them or baking them. I'm just saying, try it. You might like it.
Okay.
It helps with the consistency. Anyways, and pro tip, you didn't know you were going to get cooking tips on this episode. And then I'm cooking and my back is to the kind of like, I guess I would have been the garage door. And then I hear it open. I'm like, oh, whoever the client is coming in. This is great. And I turn around and he's like 10 inches from my face. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad he cannot see this reaction right now. I didn't know who I was expecting, but that was not it. I didn't expect to know the person. There's a lot of people that have private chefs that are not famous. They just have money.
Sure.
And he was the kindest, sweetest person. And he ate the food and he said that it reminded him of his mom's and it made him feel good on the inside. And I got the job.
Wow, that is the best compliment ever.
Yes. And that moment and then subsequent moments of cooking and helping people feel good through food made me realize that that's what I wanted to do. Not necessarily through food. I don't cook anymore. My husband actually does most of the cooking. Thanks, babe.
Love it. Love it.
But I want people to feel good through what I do. I want to use what I do as an excuse to make people feel loved, to make people feel like the better version of themselves, to make people feel like they can do it, whatever it is. So that the medium has changed. Like it was food, and then I was a corporate marketing executive. And then now in this business, it's marketing strategy and copywriting, but that is still just an excuse like to almost like get you in my clutches and love on you and help you feel better about yourself.
So the containers just changed.
The container changes.
That's all. Yeah. You're still nourishing these relationships with your clients. It's just now boxed in a prettier box. That's interesting. So then you made the transition. Yeah, for sure. And dishes alone would make me go be an online entrepreneur. So then you move into marketing. When you were starting out, did you specifically seek out creatives, or was that just kind of like went hand in hand?
Actually, I sought out wedding and catering and event professionals. So when I was in my corporate gig, I got laid off February 2020. And I said, I'd already started the business. It looked totally different than it does now. But I said, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, girl. I'll go out there. I'm going to be a business owner. And I was speaking at a conference that it did not fall flat on me that this was the conference that when I was in culinary school, I posted on my vision board that if I could just attend one year, I would feel like I had made it. And now I've spoken there 4 times.
Wow.
And it was like, oh my God, I'm here at this conference and I had a booth. And it was March 2020. And it was the day that the governor shut down all of the states and said, you cannot have events. And at that time, my company was called Food and Beverage Media and Marketing, and I was marketing only to wedding, catering, and event professionals. And I'm like, WTF.
Yeah. So about those events.
About those events. If y'all don't have any money, I don't have any money. And luckily, I was guided by my publicist at the time to give. And that in general is great advice. It's great advice as we go into the recession. It's great advice. If you feel like you are not making as much money as you want, start giving things away and showing up. I gave away education. I gave away time. And I spoke that year in 2020. I was a guest on 100 different podcasts inside of the industry and outside of the industry.
Wow.
I was recording podcasts like they were going out of style. And trying to keep it fresh for each one was a bit of a challenge, but I figured it out, right?
Yeah.
And that giving gave me a foundation that I would never have had before if I was so focused on, but how am I going to make money with this? The exact thing. How is this going to bring me dollars today? Because then fast forward, because I gave so much, when people had money, I was the first person that they came to. And when people were looking for speakers, they had already seen me speak, or I'd already spoken for free. And then this year I won Speaker of the Year because I had spoken so much, right?
Yeah. You're top of mind.
Yeah.
You're the one that like, when can I work with her? Let me just put a pin in that. Yeah.
Exactly. And I continue to, that's how I operate. It's like, how can I give? It's not always about being immediately transactional. It's more about being relational.
I love that. And when you were first at that, point where you were giving a lot of your expertise, a lot of your knowledge, at one point, did you decide, okay, I need to start charging? So I'm giving you this amuse-bouche culinary.
I like
term.
that.
See, I did that. Here's my amuse-bouche with being on a podcast, speaking on something. How would you recommend, when did that conversion to like, oh, now I'm ready to hire? How many, seeds, I guess, you had to plant to kind of see the fruits of all that labor?
I always had a product I was selling or could sell. So it wasn't like I went out and I just was like, I don't have anything to sell. I had a low cost membership that folks could funnel their way into automatically. And I started noticing when that became more of a no-brainer sell, then I'm like, okay, let's give another product that's at a little bit of a higher price point. Okay, now let me ask my audience, what is it they need right now? Let me write down their questions and their problems and ask them straight up, how much money are you willing to pay for this? Like I'm a big fan of market research using the audience that you have, because what I was doing the whole time is building my email list. So I had, by the end of the year, I went from 0 to about 3,000 people who would eventually either buy from me, refer from me, unsubscribe. We're not talking about those people.
You don't want those people anyway.
I don't want those people anyways. But building the audience and then asking them questions and developing products that fit what they needed helped me get that revenue in. So I was never not selling. Something was available, but it was about serving and then selling. I love that. Like now, our audience has shifted. And so we're doing audience building again, because I made a strategic decision to give more robust products, but only 2 products. So we had like 15, because that was like, okay, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? And then I had to figure out as a business owner, I don't like that or this or that or that. And I stripped it all away. So now we offer 2 things. You can do messaging strategy, or you can work with us for a year-long retainer. Those products are a much higher price point for our audience that has grown. Some have grown to be able to work with us in that way, and others have referred us to people who can. So we're working with larger companies.
That's
so
exciting.
It's about evolution and realizing that no one knows what the heck they're doing. So why should you? So as opposed to thinking you're supposed to know right now, just ask questions. Like I don't know who started the lie that like when you became a business owner, you also became omnipotent.
Right.
Like, if you drank that Kool-Aid, give me some, because I sure was as heck would like to know a lot more than I do. But yeah. I just ask a lot of questions.
You're authentically curious, I think. And I think anyone who's in marketing has to be curious, that anyone who's good at it anyway, you have to be curious about the market. You have to be curious about competitive brands. You have to be curious about getting to know your clients and everything. And if you go in saying, hey, I know it all, then you stay static, right? You're not going to move forward or anything like that. I think that's part of the reason why I created this podcast during the pandemic, because I was like, well, I'm curious all about, I would read something. I'm like, well, I want to know more, so I created a podcast.
Let's talk about it.
Let's chat. I love that. Now, if I'm a business owner, I am a business owner, but let's, for example,
I was like, it doesn't feel like a reach to me, but okay.
Really? I'm a professional Olympic swimmer and no, I'm kidding. But what do your clients, what are they feeling? What are they kind of struggling with before they're like, I need Flourish Marketing?
They're frustrated because they're tired of competing on price. They're tired of not having a very good answer to why would I choose you over your competitor?
Ooh, they hear that a lot, creatives.
A lot. Because I mean, how many graphic designers are there? How many
photographers?
We work with lawyers and therapists, med spa owners. I mean, the med spa people that it's like, they always come to me like, we just need to tell people that they're not going to look like the cat lady and we won't paralyze their face. I was like, that should just be like the cost of entry. Like, that's not marketing.
I know. That should be like a real thing.
Yeah. Like Botox, like we will not maim you. Like, that's not how we're going to lead with this.
Med spas, the ones that make you look pretty, not ugly.
No, I think we could dig a little deeper.
Right.
So what we do is we take those leaders, they're already leaders, they're already doing well, but they're looking around, they're like, how do I become a legend? How do I become known for something that I own, that at the end of my life or my entrepreneurial career, people look back and they're like, oh, Carrie Murray, she made me feel this way. She really owned this content. When I went to a Bra Network event, I was transformed in this way, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people though, when I say, well, you're already a legend, they're like, go on. No, I'm not. I'm like, yeah, you are. We just need to pull out that story. And when you do that, you become incomparable. You're not competing on price because people are like, well, that's not even the same thing. Like there's Uber and then there's like your cousin over there that like say, hey, can get in my car? Like those are two different things, right?
Right.
The second one sounds a little creepy. So that's what we help people do. Unearth their story, becoming radically authentic using energy, recalibration and energetic work to figure out who the heck they are, then figure out very clearly how to write that down and then translate that to the general public. So you do have competition in the sense that when people are typing things into Google search, right, there's other businesses that will come up, but when they land on your business, there's like, oh, this is the one thing that I've been searching for my whole.
Yeah. I think you touched on something that I don't hear a lot in the kind of marketing space is like doing the inner work, doing the work on yourself before you can. Do you have a lot of clients that come in that you have to support with that inner work? Is it part of working with you, or is it just it's just part of it? Talk to it's just kind of part of your ethos.
Some people are like, I mean, I'm good, girl. I just need an email sequence. I'm like, girl, you're not good, girl. You need much more than an email sequence.
I just need a funnel.
I just need a funnel. Give me the funnel. I mean, yeah, I'll give you a funnel, but that funnel is going to become outdated and trite in about 3 months. And you're going to spend our funnels we don't do standalone funnels anymore for this reason, because I just saw, I was like, this is not what people need. Our funnel, if you want a full funnel, you're going to spend $15,000, $20,000. Okay. And then you're going to do that again in 3 months because all of a sudden you've now rediscovered something in yourself, or it's not working because it sounds like somebody else. That's silly. Why don't we first tap into you and who you really are, clear the stuff that's holding you back, clear the thing that's preventing you from selling your product or service at the rate that you should be, and then we'll build your funnel.
Mm-hmm.
You have to love that. You have to walk before you can run.
100%, and good shoes. The idea of building a funnel, I know for a lot of entrepreneurs that are first starting out, they get their MailChimp and they get their, Squarespace account, and then they create their funnel. And then eventually, maybe their first year or second year, they realize this is crap. Like this is no bueno. I thought I could do it, but it becomes more of their job to create this funnel. When people are struggling with that, do you think it has to do with the fact that they haven't really identified what's going on inside, that they have this kind of, their messaging isn't clear, so they're frustrated by funnels? I could do a whole podcast on frustrated funnels.
Frustrated funnel. There's lots of reasons. Sometimes it's the tech that frustrates people. But often if you have writer's block, or the question that I get is, how do I figure out what to write every single week? That means that you don't have a strategy. And you're just picking random stuff out of the air. Like, it's not supposed to be like that. You're always supposed to be driving through your ownership of that space. So let me give you an example.
Please.
So we own radically authentic messaging strategy and copywriting, right? That's the only thing we talk about, but that's actually really broad, because there's lots of words in that sentence. What the heck does radical authenticity mean? I can have a whole podcast series that touches on that. That's also social content. That's one pillar of our emails that go out every week, right? Then you talk about messaging strategy. Well, what does that even mean? You can break that down. And once you have your content strategy and you know that everything ladders up to this overall arching theme, and then in that overarching theme, that's what your products are, the funnel becomes less work and more of, every time I send an email, I'm giving people the new idea, the paradigm shift, the solution to their objection to work with me. Because I talk about the same thing over and over and over. Then you get excited to write those emails because you're like, this is a money email. Because someone might not buy on this exact email, but now whatever that little grain of sand was that was in their shoe, that was rubbing on them on working with me, this could be the email that gets removed, right? Another thing about email, while we're talking about it, please stay out of grown folks' business. You don't know when someone will buy from you. Stay out of their business. You don't know if now's the right time. You don't know if they're going to buy from you in 2 years from now. Keep emailing them. If they're opening your email, they're engaging with them, keep emailing them. Because I have had people that have been on my list for 2 years. Never heard that from them. Then they hop on a call with me. They talk to me like they know me because I've been sharing my life with them for 2 years, never heard anything back. Definitely a one-sided conversation. And then they buy. And I was like, so what questions do you have about our services? Like, oh, none. I just wanted to talk. Send me the invoice and the contract because I'm good. I just, wanted to hear, talk to the person behind the emails, right?
Right. Well, you've been nurturing them this whole time.
And the catch is that when they get on the call with you, you should be the same person as in their emails, right? Mm-hmm. So don't write fake emails or don't show up fake on the call. Be the same radically authentic person. Now is the time to share stuff that you wouldn't normally share. Now I'm not talking, let me back up for a second because I heard how that sounded. Don't share all the nasty nitty gritty bits. Don't get all emo on people and put your negative energy on them. That's not what we're talking about. But like right now, before we started recording, I didn't get to finish this week's email yet, but I'm working on it. I have a list of like 3 or 4 things of all of some of, not all of the things that today are making me feel, it's only at this time of recording, 11:45 in the morning, all of the things that are making me feel like I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Okay.
And I'm like, anybody
What's
else
one
feel
of
this
them?
way?
Yeah. What's one of the things that make you feel that way?
Do you know that I still don't really know how to fold a fitted sheet? I'm 35 years old.
Does your husband? What do you guys do? Just roll it up?
We try our best and it kind of ends up like a little ball and we just put it away because things that need to
if
happen.
only there was this place on the internet where you could watch videos of people doing things.
I've watched the videos.
And still?
I try. I even like, Marie Kondo it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Spread my hands over across it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not a skill of mine.
Okay. We can't be great at everything.
Can't be great at everything. And so it's like, that's what I mean about being more vulnerable, not like, don't overshare, but still be the same person. And now
I agree.
All of you know that I don't know how to fold a fitted sheet.
Yeah. I think there's also a difference between vulnerability and TMI.
Yeah.
And there are times when I appreciate that, even in something as simple as an Instagram post or something, a reel or something where they show vulnerability or they show I don't have all the answers, as I prefer that content, or I'm the fucking badass person who knows everything and I don't need to learn anything from anybody.
Nobody needs that. And it's a balance because you want to show up as the guide who can lead people through what they need to be led through because you've been there, done that, right? But there's also, especially from the type of person I am and the content that I have, being radically authentic is a lifelong thing. It doesn't just like stop. Like I didn't like go up to heaven, get a gold star about being radically authentic and come back down to teach you all I know. Like that's not how that works. It's a journey. So I have done a lot of work, like you were talking about being beaten by a shaman in the Amazon. I've done lots of work around it. So I have a lot to teach, but the biggest gift I give most people is letting them know that they're not alone and that however they are feeling is okay. Yeah, I know some stuff and I can help you and have the certifications and all of that, but we are all still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah. Well, then you're also a good teacher if you can recognize that. So that's really important. So as opposed to telling your clients, you're teaching them, you're showing them. Love that. Now, speaking of funnels and emails and sequences and all the kind of back end, when you're building those, should they run on autopilot? Should they be a system that's just, as people come in, they're just like in the funnel, writing it like a water slide? Or do you check data? How much do you leave it alone and not look at it? And how much do you use that data to inform your next funnel? Or
you always use the data to inform it. It goes back to what we were talking about before about being curious, right? So sometimes you have to straight up ask the question because the numbers aren't going to tell you. So like my email sequences get a 50 to 55% open rate, which is quite large for.
God, I need to be on this email list.
They're quite good. Let me tell you, quite good. But then I was like, yeah, but sales are flat. So what is the deal? And then I looked at our past email sequences and I realized that I was chatting so much. I wasn't actually talking about products. Like I was like, we probably should send a sales email out at some point in time and get people to like remember what we actually do for a living rather than just chatting up. Right. So
here's my blog.
Yeah, right. Which is great. That's why people are opening the emails, but because I know that they're going to basically be edutained. They're going to be educated and entertained at the same time. And I have great resources and all that is wonderful. But money doesn't grow on trees, or it at least doesn't for me. If you have a money tree, send it my way. You need to ask for the sale. And once we looked at that, and then we're like, okay, well, how do we then structure our email sequences so that we're asking for the sale on a more regular basis? So I would not recommend winging it. Yes, I am writing this week's email the day before. That is not a normal circumstance for us. I'm normally more on top of it than that. But like when we have a lead magnet, so lead magnet is a free piece of information that someone downloads in exchange for their email address. When we have a lead magnet, those email sequences that they get are automated. So people download our lead magnets all day, every day, and they're hearing from us immediately with relevant information that solves problems and deals with objections. And the goal is at the end of that 6-part sequence for them to book a call with us. You have to keep in mind that part of being authentic is saying, I am great with being your friend. We can big kick it on the weekends, but I'm also a business owner, and this is a transactional based relationship. It's not just, we're not just girlfriends. We can be, and that's cool. But I'm going to ask you to buy from me multiple times. So if you're on my email list, you will have me asking you to buy things, right? But hopefully if I'm doing my job, you see why you need those things and why you'd want to buy them from me. It's not spam. You've opted into hearing about these things.
Sure. Yeah. Speaking of that, how can one get on your email list? I heard you have a fabulous freebie for the listeners. Did you like that transition?
I did.
Smooth like silk.
To get on my email list, one of the best ways is to download one of our freebies. And you can go to flourishmarketing.co/revamp, REVAMP, to download our newest, latest, and greatest freebie, which is called the 3 Ways to Revamp Your Brand Messaging to Stand Out from the Competition. So it touches on the things that we've talked about inside of this episode so that you can stop fading in the background and learn how to leverage your marketing to land your dream clients. So flourishmarketing.co/revamp.
Love that. And we're going to put it in the show notes too. So if you're driving right now, don't click it right now. Pull over, park, then click on the freebie. Safety first.
Safety first.
Yes. What do you think is, the biggest mistake you see in messaging, whether it be in an email sequence and on their website? I'm assuming you do copy on all the places. What's the biggest mistake you see?
Copying and pasting.
Oh.
So, and it's like copy, paste, little tweak. And why is that? Let's ask that. Are we just evil plagiarizers? No, that's not what the intention is of people. It's fear. That is a fear-based decision. You see someone's website, the local guru on the internet that seems to have it all together and they're doing it right, and you're wanting to do what they're doing. So then you basically just kind of like see if you just fall into their lane and use their same copy, it's got to work out, right? No, they're already doing it. So what are you going to do that's different? And it's not saying that you can't follow, a similar framework. Like I love Amy Porterfield's Digital Course Academy. Amy Porterfield was one of the very first people that I followed.
I followed.
And she taught me how to make courses. Now, am I going to go out and be the Amy Porterfield that teaches people how to make courses? And no, she's got it on lock, right? She's doing great.
Pretty good
at it.
Yep.
Pretty good at it. So I'm going to go and use her framework and the knowledge that I gratefully gleaned from her to go do my own thing, right? And to not become a carbon copy. You owe it to yourself to not become a carbon copy. And you know who you also owe it to? Me and Carrie, because we all need you to be you so we can benefit from the unique things that only you can give. And it's hard in the beginning when you don't see how it's going to work, or it's hard in the messy middle when, all the crap's hitting the fan, or it's hard when you feel stuck or stagnant, it's not working. But it is working as long as you stay true to what you uniquely are supposed to be doing in the world.
And your message should reflect you. I recently had an instance when a friend brought to my attention that someone they were in a funnel with was using my same emails. they were copying and
Ooh, the
pasting
same emails.
the same. Yeah. The structure of it. And they swapped out a photo and just kind of, I mean, it was like verbatim my email sequence and everything. And unfortunately, it was someone I knew. So I was just like,
stab me in the
wow.
back and twist it around, man. That's
Right. I was like,
rough.
well, that, and people are like, that's flattery. I go, no, you know how much money I spent building this funnel and marketing and photography and all the things. So I said something to her. I was just
And
like,
what did she say?
I was just so inspired by you. I can
That's
take it
not
down.
Inspiration. That's plagiarizing.
No, that's plagiarizing. And it
That's
says right at the
copyright infringement is actually
right at the bottom of this website. It says copyright. So she has since didn't make any money. So, you know, so I had the one conversation with her, let her be, keep doing what you're doing, see what happens. She's now completely out of business and doing something else. I don't know, but
well, because that messaging is your messaging. It's about you, not about her.
Carrie Murray. Yeah, it was a little shocking at first, and I really had my boo-boo lip out, just like,
I'm sure.
But action is and a plan is what kind of gave me resolution. And I realized you can try to be me, but you're not going to be me.
You're not going to be me.
No. And I'm sure, just to bring it back to, you know, your true authentic self, being curious in your messaging. When people are blocked by that, what advice do you give to people who are like, I can't write. I can't find any inspiration. How do you get them to like go and get it done?
Go and get it. I don't. I do the opposite. You need to go inside to find the message that goes outside. So I promise I'm not trying to give away freebies like they're going out of style, but we have a recalibration guide at flourishmarketing.co/recalibrate. That's 25 pages that basically touches on that exact answer to that question.
Amazing. We didn't even plan this.
We didn't plan this. I was like, oh no, I'm not, I'm really, I promise.
This person who copied me needs. The person who copied me did not do the inner work, did not say to herself, what problem do I want to solve? What do I want to build? Oh, here it's already built. I'll just copy it.
No.
And
that's not going to, no wonder it didn't work for her, right? Yeah. Because that's not her. So I would recommend a couple of things. One is forgiveness. So usually when you are in that place, you've already judged yourself so much that you are stuck and will continue to be stuck. So there, in that recalibration guide, there's an exercise called forgiveness and light. And it's speaking forgiveness into a candle. And the very first thing I encourage you to say is, I forgive myself for judging myself. And you let her rip with the rest of your forgiveness. And in the end, you say, I forgive myself for forgetting that I'm divine. So that you realize that you have already all of the information that you need. Another option is free form writing. So if you sit and you're writing a email or a social post and it's like, oh, this blank page, often it is your subconscious wants to tell you something else. And you're like, no. It's like that kid, mommy, mom. And you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And the kid will not stop until you turn around and like, sweetheart.
Yes, darling.
What can I do for you? Right? That sometimes is your unconscious and your subconscious, but it's a little more powerful than that kid because it has the power to block you from really being able to do anything else until you pay attention. So you need to give it voice to shake up your creativity. So if you've ever heard of morning pages, this is sort of similar, but you are going to write it and rip it up. So you write at the speed of your hand. Normally, you have a thought, you wait for your hand to finish, then you have another thought, then you write it and wait for your hand to finish. This flips it. You're writing at the speed of your thought. So you might not finish the word, you might not finish the sentence, and you're just letting it go, but you have to hand write it. This is not typed. Handwritten, and that kinesthetic connection between you and your subconscious will begin to flow. And you want to say all of the things that you feel like you can't or shouldn't say. I actually hate writing emails. Why am I writing this funnel? Am I ever going to make any money with this? I'm trying this new thing. Oh, is this radically authentic? I was radically authentic yesterday and I'm not authentic today. And I'm beating myself up for it. Whatever it is, you write it down, write it.
Love it.
And then you rip it up, you burn it, don't read it. I even do it with my eyes closed. It doesn't need to be legible. right? Then you're cracking open those creativity blocks. So then you can sit down and write your email from a place that's a little more inspired and insightful.
Mm-hmm. Gosh, I love that. So true. I'm a former teacher.
Mhm.
So, and a lot of students would get blocked with like, okay, you know, writing a narrative or something like that. They can write expository. I can tell you, you know, how to make a cell phone work or how to whatever. But
Right.
if I had to write a narrative, we would have to have a moment prior to that, which is like, write. I never thought about throwing it away. That's a smart idea because then there's no like ownership of it. You could be like, I'm done. You never have to say it again.
Yeah. And I can write whatever I want. No one can judge me, including myself, because no one's ever going to read it.
Yeah. That's powerful. That's a really great way to give permission for your clients to like, you know, kind of as they're like toddlers learning to walk, fall down and get back up and I just think writing blocks so many people. And that's why so many don't have robust email lists or funnels or sequences because they get blocked by the writing.
Yeah. And you don't have to write books here. You don't need to be a War and Peace in these emails, right?
Please don't.
Simple. Please don't. No one wants to read all of that. It's simple. Keep them short. Keep them engaging. Throw in some humor. Put in a meme or a GIF, right? It's not so heavy, and it should
Love
be
it.
so heavy.
Now, before we get carried away, I have one more question about your emails. What do you think leads to that click-through rate being so high? Do you have a, you know, like a great PS? Do you have like hyperlinks everywhere? What's
So we did a lot of subject line A/B testing, and we still do, to see what resonates with our audience, like what makes them open, what makes them interested. It's usually not clickbaity stuff. It's like, oh, this is actually going to help me. Let me open that up.
Right.
So that leads to the high open rate, and the engagement rate is one idea per email. Don't try to talk about all the things. I don't like newsletters. It's too much. People, especially like it's a very narcissistic way of marketing. I like to think I'm marketing to narcissists with short attention spans. Is it about me? Have you made it about me in the past 5 seconds? Can you make it about me again? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not going to read this because it's not about me. Right. But if you are marketing with 5 million things in that email, that's just you saying you're trying to, like, you should be paying attention to me. It's like they have an inbox of like 50 other emails, dude. Like you are not the top of their list. So keep it to one idea. And if you can, keep it to one link or the same link repeated multiple couple of times, yeah. Right? As opposed to, and then we're doing that, and then we're doing this, and then we're doing that. It's like, whoa, you lost me at thing 2. You're like, oh, maybe I can only include 5 notes. You lost me at thing 2. Include one thing. And if you really have multiple links, like, so you're going to get this, and you're going to get on my email, then you'll get my email tomorrow. I'll be like, Aleya, you have 3 links. Yes, I know, but I have a controlling idea. And the 3 links are resources to help, you know, solve that controlling idea, right? So it is still all about the one concept, one controlling idea of each email. And that controlling idea relates to a problem that you solve for your overarching theme of what you have, what you own as your thought leadership.
Wow. Love that. Okay. I literally am thinking, that last email I sent out had a whole shit ton of links. It was about the conference though. I have to say, it's like, here's the link for parking. Here's a link.
Well, that's different. Yeah. That's like they're going to, you need all the information because then they'd be like, place. I don't know what to do. Like that's
yeah, I still got that. Yeah. You still get that. So regardless of the links or not, like, did you read the email? I bet you'll get a lot of information out of it. Wow. This has been really, really great. So much great nuggets of knowledge and wisdom. I'm so excited to have you here. Now let's get carried away.
Okay.
Tell me first 3 things that you are absolutely obsessed about. Maybe it's something you discovered during the pandemic. Maybe you one of those people that was baking or doing TikToks or Netflix. Like what's the 3 things right now that you are really carried away about?
The 3 things that I'm carried away about now, one is couch time with my husband, TV time. I know that sounds so like cheesy, but like if we don't get TV time at the end of the day, the whole like it's off. Even if we're like hanging out doing something else, we have to sit down. It's like, but it's but it's TV time. I understand. Like, what else could
We
you
have that. My
possibly
husband and I
do?
have that too.
Right? It feels nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise my
Precious
whole
time.
life does not revolve around my husband. But the second thing is still husband oriented. We, in the pandemic, it's the two of us here. We're working from home. So we had a lot of time together. And this is even more cheesy. But every night, because my husband goes to bed later than I do, he tucks me in.
Oh,
And I'll like get ready for bed. If I'm ready for my tucky tuck, and he'll come and he'll tuck me in at night. I'm obsessed with it. I can't sleep without it now. Like when I travel and I call him before I go to bed, I'm like, this virtual tucky tuck is not
the same.
Not the same.
Is he at the same time getting that fitted sheet around the bed? No, I'm kidding.
Once we can get it on the bed.
On, you just can't fold it.
You just can't fold it.
Can't be great at everything.
Can't be great at everything.
That's
I
right.
can't do fitted sheets, but man, if you need marketing strategy, call me.
Go to Bed Bath & Beyond for that fitted sheet
Right.
tutorial. Yeah.
I'm not the one. I'm not the one.
Love it. Do you have another one?
Oh, yeah, but the third thing is a newer obsession. And it's a group obsession because I am currently, at the time of this recording, about 8 months pregnant. So
congratulations.
So I'm obsessed with watermelon, blueberries, sharp white cheddar cheese, and Cliff bars, but only two kinds of Cliff bars because I'm allergic to nuts. And I've only found two that are nut free.
No
and there's
nuts.
the brownie one and the chocolate chip one. And they're filling, and you can put them everywhere. I have a Cliff bar everywhere. And yeah, you can talk to me about, the sugar and this. You know what?
I can't talk to you about that.
I'm a hungry pregnant woman, and I'm going to eat what I'm going to eat.
Congratulations. That is so exciting.
Thank you.
When are you due?
November 5th. I am due on November 5th.
Scorpio or Libra?
Scorpio. So if she's early, she might be a Libra. No, not Libra.
No. Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Libra.
Late October. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, late October. But I want her to cook in there for as long as she needs, which probably means that she'll be a Scorpio baby. But that's
your first? Yeah. Is it your first baby?
It's our first baby.
Oh, she ain't going anywhere. She's gonna get real comfy.
Real comfy in there. Yeah. And that's fine with me because I'm a business owner and I have some things to do first.
Yeah, I got some things to talk about. Those funnels.
Automation.
Wow.
All of the things.
That's so exciting. Congratulations. That's really, if I could give you one advice, as a mom, don't take other people's advice. Trust your gut. You'll be fine.
That's, I think, gonna be the best advice. And I'm glad you didn't give me a horror story like most people do. I don't know what that's about.
Do you love it when you tell people, you're expecting your baby and they're like, just wait. Oh,
it's gonna be rough. It's the worst thing ever.
Hard.
I was like,
are you gonna
why did you have
job?
kids? You have 2 kids. Like, why do you, if it's that bad, you did it.
Also, you're like, if you did it,
yeah, I can definitely.
You'll be fine. Trust your gut. Just trust your gut.
I love it.
Yeah, just trust your gut. You'll be fine. And sleep training is a must, but worry about that later. That's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. So then let's go the other way. What are things that people are obsessed about that you can't stand? For example, I can't stand camping. I don't know why people do it. Camping to me is a hotel without room service.
Yeah.
No camping.
A lot of dirt. I used to camp.
I liked it as a kid.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I've seen too many true crime. That's what it is. I've watched way too much true crime.
You're like,
go camping.
I resemble a lot of these victims.
Yes.
So
where's the luck?
I'm just not gonna do it.
No.
I can't stand coffee.
Oh.
I know. It's actually very bizarre because I actually used to be a coffee snob. I mean, coffee tasting of this espresso. This one has the flavor of the forest in it. And that was me. And probably I got too snobby for my own good. And the universe was like, nah, girl, we done with you. And one day I woke up and I was just, this is before I was pregnant, years ago. Woke up, smelled the smell of coffee. And I was like, what is that vile, hot mess? And I have a hard time walking into a Starbucks.
Really? Like it's that smell is that triggering.
I can't do. My husband does pour over and like I have to like open the windows.
Oh.
Yeah. So I can't do coffee.
Can't do coffee.
going to be interesting with a newborn, but you know.
Tea?
I love tea. I adore tea. I adore tea. So we're gonna lean into that.
Yeah. Anything else?
Things that I can't stand that everybody else can. Well, there's TikTok dances. I can't do that. I can't.
No. That's
Yeah.
a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stop there because otherwise I could really go down a rabbit hole and people would be like, yeah, that's a little too much radical authenticity.
Coffee and TikTok. We'll just end it at that one.
Yeah. And I'm recently put myself on TikTok, more of a test to see like if my audience is really there. Am I dancing? No. Do I love dancing? Absolutely. Just the TikTok dancing is the problem.
Yeah, I can't do the dancing. I can't do the pointing either. You know how they're like pointing? I can't do it. I'll do maybe a show, Vanna White showcase, you know, like,
and all the words. Yeah, that's
I'll do that.
Like I have other things to do besides spend 2 hours trying to line up my finger in this word bubble.
Exactly. Not doing it. But I definitely just got on TikTok as well. So I'll follow you. I haven't really done any talks or ticks. I don't know what they're called.
I actually don't know
to me.
I feel like somebody comment and let us know, like email Carrie what the videos are called.
What are they called? What's their content called? Yes. Maybe if we were on there more, we'd know.
We would know.
Oh my gosh, Aleya, I'm so happy for you and your husband. You guys are going to have so much fun. Babies are fun.
Yes.
Just spend a day with my 15-year-old and you're going to be like, give me that baby back.
Right. Yeah. Every stage is going to be different. That's for sure.
It's so fun. You're going to have so much fun. Babies are, I'm so happy for you guys. It's just, you're about to like, especially going into the holidays. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to gush.
Already like trying to plan out like her holiday outfit, the whole family, you know, because of course we got to match. We're that couple, just in case you were wondering.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Now, are you going to point, maybe share a photo of this gorgeous child, or are you not going to be a grandma?
Oh no, she already has her own Instagram account. Like,
oh, fantastic.
Because I was like, how are we going to do this? Because my husband is like, loves the gram. And I'm like, my personal quote unquote account is now kind of like my business account, but at Aleya Harris. I'm like,
right.
People didn't come here for all of that. Like, I'm definitely will share. And I was like, she's going to need her own account. So
it's just smart. It's just good. It's a good marketing strategy and messaging.
I already got her email set up, whatever. Yeah.
Love it.
I'm going to be getting her an LLC name.
Like I have domains for each of my kids. Yeah. It was like, I already have your website ready to go. Well, this is so exciting. This is a great way to end. And thank you so much for coming, getting carried away with me. I cannot tell you how happy I am, not only for your business, your flourishing marketing business, but now your family is flourishing. Yeah. There's so much growth and joy coming your way. I'm really, really happy for you. And thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And I guess if folks want to find out why I'm beaten by a shaman, they can just shoot me an email. I'll tell you.
Well, get on her email list, because I bet there's a story there.
Now I have to write an email about being beaten up by a shaman.
Exactly.
Carrie made me do it. I got carried away and she made me do it.
That's right. Now I want everybody to check out the show notes. We have the 2 freebies. We have her Instagram, the website, all the things, all the places you can get in touch with Aleya if you are looking for marketing help. And if you're not, I'm wondering why. Really, because you need it. We all do. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Carrie.
Bye.